Hi, my name is Hunter Swift, and as a car photographer, probably one of the questions that I get asked the most on Instagram and on Facebook has to do with my equipment, what camera and what lenses that I use. I currently shoot with a couple different bodies. Now, I started with the Canon Rebel T2i. It's an entry-level camera. All the Rebel lines take actually pretty decent photos, has manual modes that allows you to get into rolling shots with like a slow shutter as well as like light painting. So that's kind of where I learned most of what I know, how to use a camera, was using just an entry-level camera. Ended up upgrading the glass from the kit lens to the 24 to 105 lens. That was a pretty decent lens. It was the kit lens that comes on the Canon 5D Mark III, and so it definitely was an upgrade from the kit lens that came with the Canon Rebel. I was using that one primarily as my kind of go-to all-around lens. I then ended up getting the wide angle 17 to 40 f4. This is a wide angle that I use for all of my rolling shots, and this was a pretty good setup. I wanted to, as I was getting better in my pictures, I wanted to upgrade my body. So I ended up upgrading to the Canon 6D. This definitely had a lot more features, better processor, better sensor, faster shutter speed, better image quality, and so this was definitely an upgrade from the entry-level Rebel. Now, from this lens, I ended up upgrading to the 24 to 70 2.8. And I sold my 24 to 105. This is a sharper lens, especially around the edges. Just a lot more tack focus with this lens. Now, I probably use this lens, the 24 to 70 2.8, on like 90% of my shots. If I'm doing light painting, if I'm doing any type of events, if I'm doing photo shoot, I use this lens. Now, I ended up upgrading my body from that to the Canon 5D Mark IV. I didn't have a 5D Mark III, which a lot of the professional photographers had at the time, and I just kind of lucked out that when I was upgrading my 6D, the 4 was coming out, and so I ended up getting this. This is definitely one of my favorite cameras. Image quality is amazing, fast shutter speed. It's still pretty lightweight compared to the 6D. I mean, it's almost pretty identical, and takes way better photos. So I use that primarily with my 24 to 70, like I said, and so if you see me at any events, this is usually what I'm holding. Now, I also upgraded the 17 to 40 f4, and I recently got the 16 to 35 2.8, and this is the 3. This is a better wide angle lens than the 17 to 40. So that 16 gives just a little bit more depth or width, so you can get more in focus. I don't necessarily shoot in 2.8 a lot, but it's nice to know that it's there. But definitely kind of my go-to lens on anything that I have to deal with, either a rolling shot or a wider picture. Like when the McLaren Senna came out, it was crowded with people. People couldn't stand back far enough to get the whole car. I used the 16 to 35, and I was able to get everything in focus and all the people. So this is kind of my new rolling shot lens, so I have that. And then recently, I just upgraded to the Canon 1DX Mark II. I went and shot one of the IMSA events, the 12 Hours of Sebring, and I wanted a faster shutter speed. And so I ended up borrowing a 1DX and loved it, so ended up getting the Canon 70 to 200. This is my telephoto lens. The 2.8 gives me that reach that I need. You put these two together, and it is amazing camera. One of the nice things about the 1DX Mark II is definitely the shutter speed. I mean, this thing just rattles like a machine gun. So this is a great combo to use. It's a pretty heavy camera. At the IMSA events, I do borrow a 300mm 2.8 as my primary lens for this camera, because it just gives me that extra depth, and I shoot primarily in 2.8 on that usually, and just get that blurred background. But this is, again, what I use for any type of action shots. Now, that's pretty much what I use. I've always been a Canon person. I love using Canon. It's what I know. I know the features, I know the menus, and I've just kind of upgraded over time, and it has not I've not had had any issues with these, and I'm glad that you know, it's able to give me what I need. So if you see me out there, like I said, you're probably going to see me with the 5D Mark IV or the 1DX. I did actually take some rolling shots with the 1DX recently. It was kind of heavy, but the image quality was good. But yeah, now you know.